Good evening, good evening. Coming up on the show tonight, we're talking about Northern Ireland's most dysfunctional family. They're back out on the road. You know who we're talking about. The guys from Give My Headpiece, and everybody's favourite Da is here with us in the studio. Tim McGarry.
I'm surprised to be in this chair because there'd be somebody else could have been in this chair, namely the King,
yes,
who was in the street literally around the corner from this studio about an hour ago, and you have to put up with me. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, I did. I was stuck in traffic because of him and Camilla, but you made it. So did you go and have a pint with him in the Duke of York, did you?
We couldn't get rid, because we were coming here at 2 o'clock, and then I thought, we'll come down, get a wee bite to eat early, and there were about 500 million peelers round the corner. And I was chatting. Do you know the police were very good? All the police said, "What's happening? Who's coming? Can't tell you, can't tell you, can't tell you." And then a photographer said, "It's the King." All right. The King was having a pint in the Duke of York, or outside the Duke of York, with Willie Jack and the sea shanty boys from Northampton and all that were there. I did a gig for Prince, now King Charles.
Did you?
About 4 or 5 years ago in, no, it was older, in the throne room at Hillsborough Castle.
Really?
I met him. And he was lovely.
Yeah.
He was very nice. Him and Camilla I was doing a wee show in the Hillsborough Castle, and he and Camilla were sitting literally where you are. And it was a bit weird, but it was lovely. Actually, I really enjoyed it.
And did you have to tone it down a little bit?
Well, if you're doing a gig for the soon-to-be King, you can't just turn up and go, I'll wing it. Yes. They're quite good at getting a blue pencil out, and there was a committee meeting and going, you can't say this and you can't say that. But I was given fairly free rein.
Wow.
I had a really good time, and I really enjoyed it. And it was only 8 minutes. It was one of those gigs you go, wasn't even getting paid. I haven't got a medal to show for it, Robin. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's coming. It has to be coming at some stage. It
clearly is at some stage.
I mean, all the years you've been in show business, surely it's coming. Surely it's coming.
You'd have thought so. But he was dead on, and him and Camilla, when they shook hands with everybody afterwards, there was an opera singer and somebody playing the harp and stuff like that. And I was the comedy turn.
Brilliant. Tell us about the tour, because you've been all around the place already, haven't you?
Well, we are in show, we have 12 shows left out of 28, so we've done 16. We've been all over the place, and we're loving it. We're having a ball. You know William Shakespeare, you've heard of William Shakespeare.
Yes, of course,
You've heard of Henrik Ibsen, the great playwright. You've heard of Harold Pinter.
Yes.
Not like that. None of that. Our plots are fairly ridiculous. We're having a ball. We're having an absolute ball. Pastor Begbie has been sleepwalking, and has been sleepwalking. Ended up in the Falls Road joining Sinn Féin. Ma has a favourite statue that she prays to that Da finds out is quite valuable. Has flogs it and gets it off the Antiques Roadshow and flogs it. And there's a curse on the statue. That sort of thing. Yes, that sort of a thing. And we've had a ball.
Brilliant.
We're 18 shows in, so we now know our lines.
Of course.
By the time we hit the Opera House on Monday, we will be word perfect.
And of course, there's always a big chunk of stand-up from you in the middle somewhere as well.
I'm doing about 25, 30 minutes, and I'm loving it. Absolutely loving it. And the thing is, we've done a few shows across the border. We did one in Monaghan, and we did one in Dunleary, in the Pavilion in Dunleary, and had to change the entire thing because some of our sensibilities don't travel across the border for some reason. Robin, they don't seem to know who Jim Allister is.
Yes, what about our politicians in a minute? Because apart from Jim Allister, is there anybody else you can really laugh at, really? Is there?
Up here, and and Jim's gone to London now, you know. Well, no, because our politicians have got a bit dull, haven't they? They've been back a year, and you go, they haven't done an awful lot. You've got Michelle and Emma, who I like to call Miss Emma, because the two of them, they're all seen together and they get their photograph taken everywhere. Miss Emma! And they're getting on very well, but they haven't done anything. And you look at the Assembly, I used to know virtually every MLA going and who the ministers were, and now you go, what have you done today? Nothing. I know Loch Ness, I could literally walk across it. I wouldn't drink the water out of it, but I could walk across it any chance you could do that. Hill Street round the corner, they spent 2 years talking about pedestrianising it, and it still isn't pedestrianised, you know.
Exactly.
And our health store, I got a letter from my dentist saying I now have to pay to go to see my dentist, you know.
Crazy.
Anyway, sorry, this became the Nolan show all of a sudden. We don't want that.
No, but we'll not mention Belfast breakfast baps or anything like that.
No. I might mention that in this because a certain radio presenter gets a wee turn on it.
Oh, does it? Oh.
He gets a couple of mentions, yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
And you find now that people, kind of like in the old days of Spitting Image, people wanted to get mentioned, didn't they? They wanted to know that you were thinking about them.
Exactly.
Is that what happens with you guys?
Exactly. We started a podcast, the Give Me Head podcast, and
Yeah.
we've had a few politicians on. And it turns out that they kind of like being on to talk about...
Yeah, the first one, the one that surprised me, I watched the Naomi Long one.
Yes.
That surprised me.
Did you surprise you?
How good she was on it.
She was very
Wasn't
good.
she?
She was very good. And we had Claire Hanna and, spoiler, a couple of weeks' time we're going to have Gavin Robinson, the head of the DUP,
wow.
is coming on. Now, I haven't done it yet,
Yes,
but I'm looking
yes.
forward to that. And I think part of it is we're not Stephen Nolan, we're not drilling into, we're not going to pointing fingers and having a go at them. We're asking them sort of what their lives are like.
Yes,
Are they
yeah.
you're human beings as well? I mean, I like to take the hand out of our politicians. That Give Me Head piece is all about that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's a little bit of going, calm down, everybody. Don't need to hate them.
Yeah, exactly,
They're
yeah.
real people as well. I may disagree with all three of the people I've interviewed, but at the same time I go, come on.
Yeah.
That's,
Who would you love to have in the podcast?
Who would I love to
Yes.
have? Well, you're unavailable. I keep asking for you. I keep, and you just go, Robin Elliott, no, he's in Amsterdam with Shane Lynch promoting what? I'd like to get Liam Neeson on.
Yeah.
Northern Ireland, do you know the way Northern Ireland is tiny?
Yes,
And sort
yes.
of huge but tiny at the
Yeah,
same time.
yeah.
Liam Neeson is my brother-in-law's cousin.
Really?
Yes.
Well, surely you can do that. You can
You'd
make
have
that
thought
happen.
so. You'd have thought so. I'm sad to say I'm a big football fan, and our guest this week was Jim McGarry, the manager of Cliftonville.
Right.
Which was a personal favourite of mine, but the
I would only appeal to a certain audience.
co-presenter of the Damon Quinn knows nothing about football. I go, Jim McGarry. He went, who?
Yeah.
Jim McGarry. 4th of May 2024, Cliftonville win the Irish. Anyway,
Yeah.
so no, it's a nice variety of people. We've actors, comedians, writers, politicians, anybody who'll talk to us really. And
Excellent.
I've really, really enjoyed it. I have to say, it's been.
What about the TV show? Are we going to get any more for Christmas this year?
We are there's going to be a Christmas special this year. We're not sure whether it's the last one ever. It could be coming close to the last one ever.
Right.
But the BBC have been very good this week. We cannot complain about the BBC.
Exactly.
They've been very, very kind to us. And audiences keep turning up to the stage show. I mean, we're delighted. We're sold out virtually on the Friday and Saturday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, there's still a few seats in the Grand Opera House. Sold out around the country, having a ball.
And how rock and roll are you guys on tour?
Oh, Robin. I cannot say on camera in case the police come, but there are glasses of wine and books being read at the back of the bus.
Really? Oh, who has the most ridiculous rider list?
Oh.
Who asked for the most ridiculous of things?
That'll be Olivia Nash.
Yes,
Olivia Nash, 82 years old, still rocking it. Olivia likes a wee G&T on the bus.
Yes.
She likes her dressing room to be very close to the stage.
Yes.
She has to have men running after her and taking her off stage every time she finishes a scene. But we're a collective.
Who would you not want to share a dressing room with out of any of your cast members?
Out of any of my cast members,
who would you not want to be stuck in a dressing room
Damon
with?
Quinn, because he's in the toilet all the time. That sounds worse than I'm making it.
Yeah, it does, yes, yeah.
He does seem to spend an inordinate amount of time in the toilet. I'm not saying there's anything untoward going on in there.
Yeah,
it just seems to take a certain long period of time. But
Okay, we'll have a think about that as we're watching the show on stage at the Grand Opera House this week. You're on all week, Tim.
24th to the 29th, yeah.
Brilliant. Well, the best of luck.
Robin,
Looking forward
thank
to
you very
seeing you as
much.
always, and always good to see you.
Always a pleasure to be on NVTV with Robin Elliott.
Oh, thank you.